This is day 2 of my vlog whilst I'm at the Growing Young Disciples Conference. It's been absolutely brilliant so far, and I had a video last night or this morning when I put it on, talking about Trevor Archer's. Now it's the next day. Obviously the morning's different to the evening, so Trevor will be speaking again this evening, and I think I'll be adding that to this video. What I've gone through this morning has been really, really good. So it's very about evangelism to young people. And I just come out of the Ken Moser one. Now, Ken Moser has been really interesting for me because in the last few years, I've adapted something called the funnel, which is a quite tried and tested model of youth evangelism, or evangelism in churches in general. And I found it off a friend who is a pastor in a local church, and I really have been excited about it and pushing it in the church, and it's been a strategy that I've been most commonly connected to. People often think that when I'm going to do a partnership meeting at our church that Stephen's going to talk about the funnel. You know, that's the thing. And but Ken Moser has a very different view on that strategy. He's not a fan. He does have a really good argument. So his argument is that you have the youth worker, and you've got the 10,000 young people that you want to connect to, but really you're only going to connect to, because you're only one person, max 10, 20 people on a good day, and they're going to be people that you either going to be really extrovert people that you really get on with because they're they like talking, that they're open, they're good with music, you see preaching even if they're not a Christian, you think that. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you get the ones who've had a difficult life, and they're the ones who you gravitate to, and you want to help and you want to support them, you want to become their dad. That's probably where I've been. I've been in that kind of lower end in terms of, we've had difficulties and they need extra support. And that's not a bad thing, but the problem is that I'm not reaching the 10,000, I'm reaching the 20. And it's such a small scope, and actually it doesn't provide a good discipleship model, which I don't know if I completely agree with, because actually they come into my youth group and I'm able to build a better relationship with them. And I would say that a fairly good number of the kids that I have, I would say, are normal, as what Ken says, but I can definitely see the point that he has. Now, he wouldn't use the funnel model because of the reasons I've just said, but he seems to basically turn it on its head, and he would say, no, what you need to do is you need to start with yourself, and you have maybe 2, maybe 3 leaders that you develop, and who you do a Bible study every week with them, just a few of them. And what they do is that they go on and they have their own small groups themselves that they run. So maybe they have 4 or 5 people in theirs. And they do a study with them throughout the year. And then they go on, and then they go on. And so actually, it's, instead of you reaching 10,000 individually, actually through the work that you're doing, you're reaching more people. And that's definitely a discipleship model that I've come across before on a one-to-one basis. A disciple who makes disciples, but obviously put into the idea of groups rather than one-on-one. I like it. I think it clearly has a lot to it, and it does challenge me to think about what we're doing at PCF. Though I don't think the funnel model's completely gone, or the concentric circles as the 5 C's as we use at PCF are completely gone. But I think that it is something that we need to look at in terms of modelling disciple making. So having both and seeing how they fit, because I think that actually there is a middle ground here, where you are reaching, you have that openness to people, and you bring them in slowly, but you do it through a disciple making intention. But that was that, and I'm really interested to see how he goes, because I think he's unpacking that, and actually I think he's going to talk more about the frailties of the funnel model tomorrow. Going on this morning, It was Graham Daniels. He's Welsh. He's head of Christians in Sport, and he is a very funny man. I would again encourage you to go on to Growing Young Disciples Facebook page. They are live streaming all of the sessions, and they're keeping them on there so you can listen to them if you're seeing this video, which I doubt you're seeing this one first. And his one was very interesting because it was the simplicity and the fearlessness and wanting to really make Jesus known in a very straightforward way. He gave two examples which really struck with me, which was one that led him to come to know Jesus, which was this Guion. I've heard this story before about this cricketer called Guion, who just simply said that, what are you doing this weekend? I'm going to church and I enjoy it and I believe in Jesus and you should do, nothing, we're not into in your face. It's just, like manliness. And I think that's something that's often lost. Another time he was saying that he was playing for Cambridge United in a championship, and there was this new left winger, and he was just really nice to them, and no one else was nice to this, even though he was going to be he was replaced by this guy. And this guy said, "You should like me. Why are you being nice to me?" And his reply was that, "Well, I'm a Christian, and I want to share Jesus with you." I think it was that. It's like, "Oh, why do you go to church?" I said, "Well, I follow Jesus." Simple as that. And he said, well, that started off a process, and though he wouldn't claim that he's the person that got this person to be Christian, he obviously had a role in the chain, and that person apparently has gone off and is now a vicar in England. I don't know who this vicar is, but it was really striking about actually the simplicity, and actually the fact that we have got that message. Just going back from what Trevor said last night, that we have this message, and all we're here to do is pass that message on. We're not here to distort it or change it. We just need to hand it over and take ourselves out of it as much as possible, and have confidence that God is the Lord of the harvest, that we are not the lords of the harvest, and our strategies and the way that we do things are actually, whether it's a funnel or whether it's what Ken Mose says, actually at the end of the day, these are just ways of doing things. And really we need to be relying on the Lord of the harvest, and he will instruct us and guide us as to what the right thing is to do. And when I think about PCF, when I think about the youth ministry, and I think about the church in general, I got to think, yes, maybe this one's the best way of doing it, maybe the other one's the best way of doing it, I don't know. But what I can be certain is that God is the Lord of the harvest, and he will bring people to come to know him. He doesn't have to worry. He's not worried about it. And so we shouldn't either. Anyway, that's me for part 2. I think given the length of this video, I think I will put it as a part 3 for this evening. But if you, or in the morning, I might be really tired. There's a pub quiz tonight. I'll probably be at that. Anyway, see you later.